after the Snow White thing, I'm gonna be honest, I will be shocked if she gets cast in almost anything.
What is it like for you now having all of this? I think it's a lot of pressure, right?
It's definitely a lot of pressure, but I surround very good people who keep me grounded and try to just stay as true to myself as I possibly can.
2.3 million dislikes. Imagine having that much of a dedicated hater base. That's insane.
She couldn't keep her mouth shut.
Okay, y'all, brace yourselves. Disney didn't just delay Snow White, they ghosted it. Like, full on vanished. No trailer, no poster, not even a sparkly little tweet. After nearly 2 years of nonstop hype, drama, and damage control that could rival a Bravo reality show, the one-time pride of Disney Plus just disappeared without a single goodbye, and the whispers started immediately. Industry insiders were murmuring behind closed doors. This wasn't a delay, this was a straight-up cancellation. The day came, the schedule said Snow White, and Disney said nothing. Radio, silent. Why? Because of one name Disney's no longer willing to defend. Rachel Zegler.
And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay. Maybe that's a weird takeaway. Regardless, this is not supposed to be anything other than insightful entertainment. It's what I do best. Just know that I am the most grateful person alive. But I'm also keeping it.
Let's not sugarcoat it. Rachel Zegler has become one of the most controversial actresses Disney's ever gambled on. But baby, after that Evita debacle in London, it wasn't just smoke, it was a full-on inferno. Word on the street is that the execs at Disney finally said enough. Sources close to the studio spilled that Disney is now petrified to even stream anything with Rachel's name on it. That's how bad it's gotten. Someone from inside even called her a ticking part-time bomb. And with Rachel still trending, but always for the wrong reasons, the studio reportedly saw the warning signs flashing in neon. Screaming fits backstage, cast members walking out, and let's not forget the $50 million 0 cents lawsuit against her own agent. Honey, it's not drama, it's a disaster. So Disney took one long, hard look at their investment and said, we're out.
Our fans are growing more concerned about Disney's new Snow White remake, mostly because of what the lead actress has been saying to the press. Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster for Disney. We've heard her bag the classic story before, but there's more.
But let's be crystal clear. They didn't just push back the release. They didn't hit pause. They buried that movie because Snow White isn't a magical fairy tale anymore. It's a brand crisis. But that's not even the full tea. Nope. The real reason this film got axed goes way deeper. It all traces back to the cold, hard truth Disney's been trying to avoid for months. Rachel Zegler never really changed.
Okay, it's great. I'm honored. I don't know why I sound so angry right now. I'm honored. Am I a psychopath? No, I've been getting a lot of questions about how do I feel? I feel amazing. We start kind of soon and I'm just like,
Before Evita crumbled into chaos and headlines screamed lawsuit, Rachel Zegler's image was already circling the drain. It started off innocently enough, press interviews for Snow White, fans craving that signature Disney sparkle, but instead of enchantment, Rachel gave us shade. She mocked the original movie, called it weird, creepy, and straight up outdated. Oh, and don't even mention the prince. Rachel dubbed him a stalker and proudly declared that this Snow White doesn't need saving. Not now, not ever. Well, the internet lost it, and not in a good way.
You know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
People weren't just upset, they were personally offended. Generations of love and nostalgia tossed aside with one smug smirk. But Rachel didn't stop there. Her red carpet appearances, they went viral for all the wrong reasons. Forget fashion. Fans were fixated on her attitude. Cold, condescending, she came off as too good for everything. And the girl once hailed as Spielberg's next big star, she now looked arrogant, dismissive. Even her ride or die supporters started falling back. The sparkle was gone.
the cartoon was made 85 years ago.
and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world. And so when we came to reimagining the actual role of Snow White, it became about the fairest of them all, meaning who is the most just and who can become a fantastic leader. And the reality is, Snow White has to learn a lot of lessons about coming into her own power before she can come into power over a kingdom.
Rachel was suddenly being dragged for being completely out of touch with her audience, the very people she needed to charm. The Disney diehards weren't having it, and behind the scenes, yikes. Word spread fast from past productions. Rachel wasn't easy to direct. She wanted to control everything, clashed with senior crew, and made set life a battlefield. Still, Disney kept pushing, crossing their fingers the drama would die down. That a genius PR glow-up would save her in the film. Spoiler alert, it didn't. It got worse. So much worse.
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have when I say that this has been the biggest adjustment of my life. Like understanding the way my life operates now, being who I am, and the things that I've been so fortunate to make. It comes with so much ground. So much ground that I never thought I would be able to cover, and that people think I'm doing poorly, and other people think I'm doing gracefully, and I don't think I'm doing it at all.
If Rachel's image was already dangling by a thread, Evita straight up set it ablaze. The West End revival was supposed to be her comeback, her redemption arc, a graceful pivot from the Disney backlash. But honey, what actually happened behind the scenes? It was chaos. It was catastrophe.
Be normal. Normal things are happening.
Day. How are you, my dear? Hello, Diego. What a pleasure. Nice to see you again. Hi. Nice to meet you, James. Great to see you. Right, let me introduce you to everybody. Michael Harrison, other producer. Hello. And of course, Andrew.
Have you met Jimmy Lloyd?
No. What does he do?
Didn't ask him.
What do you do?
I just do my best.
That's the best I've ever seen it.
Can't wait to see you in the Palladium.
My favourite theatre anywhere, actually. Oh, you're a fantastic cast. It's going to be a sensation, I know it. Thank you, everybody. Amazing. Thank you.
The whispers started the moment rehearsals began. Tension, tantrums, walkouts. One crew member even quit mid-run. Another insider said Rachel screamed at a lighting operator just because they missed a cue. And then came the diva demands, refusing to rehearse scenes unless they aligned with her vision. Then, the leaks, rehearsal notes, testimonies, emails. One chilling message described the work environment as downright hostile, saying Rachel's presence made it unsustainable. It was like Snow White deja vu. But this time, there was no Disney shield, no glossy PR team to spin the narrative, no lifeline. Just Rachel unfiltered and unraveling in real time.
So she said she was scared of the original cartoon, watched it once, and never picked it up again. She should have watched it a few times and maybe became more familiar with the story. And before the script went through such a dramatic change that it sounds like she had a part in, Disney, an accomplice with that, obviously it was their production. You should have, watched it a little closely and maybe stayed a little closer to the original blockbuster, wonderful story written by whoever it was, but produced by Disney.
Everything fans had worried about during Snow White, it was playing out again, on a London stage no less, and this time the receipts were flying. No studio, no safety net. Rachel was on her own. And the headlines, they weren't about a magical reboot anymore. They were about meltdowns, about professionals walking out, about a lead actress so difficult to work with, people were leaving the room. Even her defenders were stunned, because at this point, it wasn't about a bad interview or a mean tweet. It was about a pattern. Rachel hadn't learned a single thing. And Disney? Oh, they were definitely watching. One source spilled the tea. Evita was the moment Disney realized she wasn't just a PR hiccup. She was a full-blown liability. That's when the real panic hit. Executives scrambled into emergency meetings. Not because the movie wasn't ready, Not because there were delays, but because Rachel's name had become too toxic to touch. So just like that, the plug was pulled. No press release, no we're pushing it to next year, no official word at all, just poof. Silence. A film that was once the crown jewel of Disney's streaming empire just disappeared. And this wasn't some accidental calendar glitch, baby. This was a strategic vanishing act. A source from Disney Plus even spilled that internally, Snow White had been slapped with a haunting new status: hold indefinitely, pending talent resolution. In other words, nothing is moving until Rachel Zegler stops being a walking headline. Executives were reportedly on edge. Some even said terrified. Every time Rachel trends, it's a PR grenade. Every interview is another disaster waiting to happen. And now they're worried that releasing the movie would bring even more attention to how bad things really got behind the scenes. So what's the new Disney plan? Silence. They've iced out the entire film. No promo, no interviews, no press tour. Insiders say marketing teams were ordered to shift focus to safer upcoming projects and not even mention Snow White. That's how deep this went. And as Rachel continues drowning in lawsuits, online feuds, and public meltdowns, that silence, it might last longer than anyone expected. Because Disney has finally accepted the harsh reality, every time Rachel Zegler speaks, the internet listens, and not in the way they want. Let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just about one troubled starlet. Disney's entire brand has been in a tailspin between political drama, flopping blockbusters, shrinking subscriber counts, and a stock chart that looks like a roller coaster drop. Snow White was supposed to be their redemption, a feel-good win, a nostalgic slam dunk, but instead, it turned into radioactive waste. There was backlash over casting. There were angry rants about the rewritten story, there were memes and rants about how Disney axed the Seven Dwarfs, and standing at the center of this PR implosion, Rachel Zegler, the girl who told the world Snow White doesn't need a prince, then proceeded to torch her own castle. Executives had hoped time would heal it all, that fans would forget the tone-deaf interviews, that the Evita fiasco would fade, that Rachel would redeem herself with grace. But nope, what they got instead was more lawsuits, more drama, and that viral moment where she basically mocked the entire foundation of the movie she was starring in. So finally, someone inside Disney asked the question everyone had been afraid to say out loud. If we release this movie, are we actually doing more damage than good? And the answer? A big, exhausted corporate yes. Marketing teams warn execs. If we push this film right now, the conversation won't be about magic, it'll be about her. And in today's social media war zone, every second of backlash costs. Nobody wanted to see headlines like, Disney doubles down on controversial star. Snow White sparks more drama than magic. Why is she still the face of this? So instead of fighting the storm, Disney slammed the gates shut. And now it's getting even worse behind the scenes. Sources say some execs are pushing for the nuclear option. Just bury the film permanently, recut it, replace her, trash it, whatever it takes to make this nightmare go away, because this isn't just about bruised egos anymore. This is about cold, hard money. They spent millions on this movie and now it's worthless. A tainted production with a lead actress no one can promote. Fans already made up their minds. They're not excited, they're not hopeful, and they definitely don't want Rachel's face popping up on their homepage. So when the supposed release date came and went with nothing, people noticed. No premiere, no cast interviews, no it's finally here moment. Just silence. And social media didn't miss a beat. Reddit threads started connecting the dots. TikTokers were whispering shelved. Twitter blew up with one viral post that said Disney saw Evita and said, never mind. Brutal. Under old Snow White trailers on YouTube, the comments were pure savagery. One person wrote, this aged like milk. Where's the movie? Oh, right? NPR jail. And while Disney stayed tight-lipped, the fans had already spoken. Many were cheering the decision, saying it was long overdue, that Rachel's actions made her unfit to lead anything with the Disney name on it. Others clapped back at the studio, saying they should have known better before they cast her. But the loudest voices? The ones asking, why is Disney pretending like none of this ever happened? Oh, but there's more. Internal leaks blew the lid off. One Disney Plus memo allegedly labeled Snow White unsalvageable. Another insider claimed new contracts now come with strict conduct rules, all because of Rachel Zegler. Translation? They're scared stiff of another meltdown. Even inside Disney, people are bailing. That fairy tale remake, it's now a studio embarrassment. And the star in the eye of the storm, silent. No apology, no explanation, nothing. Just scorched earth and a $100 million 0 cents film no one wants a touch. This isn't just about controversy, it's about whether Rachel's done. Hollywood's seen chaos before, but this was fast, loud, and totally avoidable. She was Spielberg's golden girl, the next big thing, and now she's the face of a flop. And here's what's chilling, no one stepping in, no glowing articles, no big name directors rushing to save her, just silence. And in Hollywood, silence equals game over. Casting directors are dropping her, projects canceled, brand deals gone. Because Rachel Zegler doesn't bring magic, she brings risk. And it all started with Snow White doesn't need a prince. Well, turns out Disney doesn't need a Rachel. She had chances to fix it. She didn't. She blamed, she spiraled, and now Hollywood's walking away quietly. Even fans are done. The comment sections, brutal. She blew it, not bullying, accountability. Rachel didn't just lose a Disney role, she lost trust. And without that, her career's already fading. Comebacks take time, silence, and humility. She's shown us none of it. And worst of all, she still thinks she's the victim.